Cheers. 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 Dunzeron. Good morning, all. We were going to start this chap today. But I decided I'm not going to. Yes, new phone. Who dis? Did his base. Very simple base. Put some cool plants on there. Kept his shield separate so I can paint his shield and do some cool designs. But we're not going to do it. We're not going to start it until tomorrow, on Party Monday, because there's still work to go on this model, and I'm not. I've got to get it done. I've got to fucking get it done. I poured some resin last night. Morning, Robosh, Teria, Sleepy Slang. Chase that feeling, rapid transit. Yeah, I poured resin last night. Let me show you. I had no idea how the resin was going to go. But what I did was, on the last stream, everyone would remember, well, you may not remember, but that's good. I updated my thing. Fun. Yeah, that the lake that I was going to fill in, we poured water in it on the end of the other stream to see if it was holding, and it was not, but I couldn't really find where it leaked to. Well, I found where it leaked to. It actually leaked to the other side of the wall. So I had to make some emergency repairs here. All that area there is just a little doorway that makes it look like it goes through, but there was not a tight seal with the bottom section, and so the resin started leaking underneath into there. And I've poured a few resins in my time, so I'm pretty good at checking things. You don't just fucking pour it and then be like, woohoo, I'll come back in 24 hours and everything's fucking sweet. So I had to pretty quickly figure out what I was going to do. So I stuck some paper towel in there to absorb the resin that had fallen through. It's quite viscous, right? So it wasn't just flooding it really quickly. So yeah, I pulled all the excess out with that. I tried to use hot glue to seal the seal, but I couldn't get the gun in the right spot. So in the end, I just used some of my my favourite 2-part resin called Need It, which is a very fast drying epoxy resin. Dries in about 5 minutes. So I quickly splooged that up and g'day Conrad, and sealed it up, and I checked it every 5 minutes after that to see if there was any leaks, and there wasn't. The lake is looking good. It's still, I may have gone too much blue dye, because you can't really see the bottom, which is probably okay because the bottom was shit. But yeah, I'll just go quickly take a photo actually. Silicone to seal that spot. Yeah, probably would have. Stand by. Alright, let me just upload that photo to Twitter's. Yes, so in the end, what we've ended up with is a lake that's probably a smidge too blue, but it's probably going to be fine because this is a very small cog in a very large machine, and there's going to be a few parts of water effects and stuff. Come on, Twitter. Good job, me. There we go. So that's what it ended up looking like. You can see, mate, it's never too early in the morning for Kung Fu. You can see the amount of liquid that I lost. If you have a look at the side of the lake there, you can see how much I lost. So we probably dropped about 1 centimetre. Hey, Phoenix. G'day, mate. G'day, mate. What a surprise that you would be raiding. I'm shocked. Yeah, so pretty good. Raid and run, mate. Love your work. Hello, Net Diver. Here you go, everyone. You can have a look at this. I just got out of the shower and I just went like this. I'm not really one that is overly concerned with my appearance because I've got a head like a drop pie. So anyway, this video was taken, I don't remember, probably a week and a half ago now. So everything's pretty much finished on the base now. That resin that I just poured looks like this, and it's not leaking anymore. So that's what it stayed at overnight. So we're good. So I'm gonna, g'day Peckish Fox, living the dream, mate. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do another thin layer of resin over the top of that because I lost that centimetre. So I need to fill it up to the top. All the way up to the top so that it's flush with the edge, and then I'm going to make some little waterfalls. I've got a photo I can show where the waterfalls are going to go. Yeah, someone fucking tell the people who do this fucking program, ABS, that I want to be able to draw on my pictures that come on the screen, because it'd be really good to explain what I'm doing and then draw. Where's the fucking video picture of that? Fuck me. We're going a long way back. Alright. There we go. Get on that, friends. Just tell them. Fucking, I want to draw on this shit. So, I'm going to have the water come all the way up to the edge of the rocks. And then... No, I'd like to be able to do it while I'm talking. And then... I want the waterfalls to just trickle down on either side of that rock and then sort of just splash around down the bottom bit there. So that'll be pretty fun to make, a couple of little waterfalls and stuff. So anyway, this is, I'm going to actually go model by model again and just go over all these models. This is the one that needs the most work, so I'm just going to try and finish her off today. And then tweak some of the other ones. So. Oh yeah, that's a good point. You can do that, can't you? I really probably need a second monitor for that though, because I've only got one monitor. Yeah, I see what you're saying. MS Paint. Actually, let me try something. Let's just throw the boat wide out. Let's go. Does this work? It does. Excellent. Okay. don't know what this picture is. Oh, cool. Oh, look at this. This is great stuff. Thanks, Dracos Infinitus. Alright, I'm even gonna do this. How good is the internet, hey? Fucking hell. Home. Open image, this one. Oh, thanks, Bud King. Look at this. Alright, so, I'm going to draw. Wow, this is great. No, draw, you fuck. Alright, so the water's going to come all the way to here, and then it's going to splash down here and here. So this is all going to be filled up to here. And then the water will trickle down into here. And this is going to be filled up to here. Look at that. Fucking beautiful. How good is that? So that's what we're going to do. That's great stuff. Wow. Anyway, let's do some painting. Let's do some painting, friends. I'll try anyway. You know, it's been like since Wednesday last week is the last time I painted. Wednesday this week. I just feel like I haven't painted in a while because I was assembling that little dude, and then I was doing terrain stuff on my diorama. Hey, Bud King, what do you think? What do you think of my diorama, by the way, buddy? How's my terrain building? Is it up to scratch? That's a good point. Window capture, eh? I just use... Wow, that's a great idea. Display capture, window capture. I don't think I've even tried that before. I've just done display capture. You can do window capture of Google Chrome, can't you? Wow, I'm learning so much about OBS right now. Thanks, friends. Good. Honest feedback. It's the best. It is sculpted, yes. Mostly. Don't want to give you a bum steer, but this little section at the front. Oh, my fucking camera's stalled. Fucking annoying. You know, I was just thinking to myself, yeah, I fucking think I've sorted out my fucking camera mostly now. No, fuck you, Geno. Yeah, it is mostly sculpted, except for this section here. So this section was a little bit from a base that I found before. The rest of this stuff here is sculpted. And the way that I did that is I created a wire ring, bloop, 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 like that. And then I just, sculpted over the top of it. It's pretty easy. Yeah, there certainly is some areas that are jarring. It's hard to pull that all together in a cohesive way when there's so many different elements. One of my mates was giving me a spray. He reckons Morgana looks too clean, not dirty enough. She's trundling around in the forest with no clothes on. She's not dirty enough. So, something we've got to try and address. Good point. She could have. So, I think the conventional wisdom around wet pallets is you're not supposed to have there be much water. You can't see my wet pallet at the moment because I haven't reset the camera, but mine is pretty much full to the brim with water. For that very reason, it's very hot here. The water will disappear out of my pallet pretty much overnight. So I find I'm topping up my water every couple of days to make sure that I've got enough liquid in there to make sure that the wet pallet is working as intended. I've got a Red Grass Games wet pallet coming actually to give it a try. I haven't used one for any long periods of time, so I'm interested to see over a period of time how it works. Alright, we're going to do a fun exercise on today's stream. It's going to involve some more internet perusing using... I'm going to use fucking display capture. Let's fucking do it differently. How good's that? Because I just learned how to do that. Let's fucking do it. I'm just going to set that up now so I don't forget. Excellent. Excellent. So, I recently got asked to do some streaming for a miniature company called Weird Miniatures, who I'm sure many of you would know as the people who make Malifaux. Topless, we're not quite going to get over the line by today. I've got two things that I need to finish. One is the water. So the water's very close, but it's not quite finished. I've got to do a little waterfall, some other bits and pieces. So that'll be finished probably by tomorrow, or at least I'll pour the last resin tomorrow. And then I'm waiting on my transfers, decals, whatever you want to call them, for a few of the models, particularly Galahad and Sir Kay and Percival are the main ones. So I'm going to add decals to them on their various heraldry, and the model and the spiderwebs. So the spiderwebs and the decals are coming from Green Stuff World, which should arrive next week, early next week, and then that is it. And I'm painting the last models now. So we'll be finished in the next few days, without a shadow of a doubt. But yeah, today is not looking good. Anyway, to continue. So, and when I say I got asked, they put up a thing for people to express interest, which I did. So I'm not like, they didn't like fucking headhunt me and go, Dino, you're the fucking best. Because I'm not the best, I'm fucking average. But they were looking for people to do streams, and so we did some streams, which is cool. Well, we're going to do some streams, I should say. So, now the reason I say this is it's starting to come to fruition now that we're going to be doing some streams. I'm not sure the exact dates that it's going to start, but probably next month sometime. Thanks Topolus. Oh no, thanks Taria. Thanks for nothing, Topolus. Yeah, it's 8 weeks officially today, or tomorrow. 8 weeks officially tomorrow. So we're going to be just over 8 weeks. So 2 months, a month quicker than I expected, which is cool. Could I spend another month on it? Yes, easily. Do I want to spend another month on it? No, not at all. So we'll move on. Anyway, so the very exciting streaming for weird miniatures, however you want to pronounce it, is interesting for me because I don't think I've ever painted any Malifaux models, and I'm not really interested in the game. Not really too interested in many miniature games these days, just because I'd rather play board games with my friends. So where I'm at now, when I was thinking about that, I was like, pick out some models you want to paint. I was like, I don't even know what models I fucking want to paint from you guys. And they're like, you can do whatever you want, stream about whatever you want. Painting XYZ element, or fucking this or that, or something. And I was like, I might stream painting a diorama, but a small diorama. Not like a Camelot diorama. And it can just be a project that I work on when I do my Weird Miniatures streams, which is only going to be probably once or twice a month. The rest of the other time I'll do my own stuff. So anyway, I was thinking, and I'll just do absolutely everything on the stream. Build it from the base, everything. We'll do it all. So anyway, the reason for my gibbering is we're going to do that on stream, a diorama, but I need to order the models. So we need to figure out what the fuck diorama we're going to make. Oh, Topolus, what a great dude, just gifting away Submarinos. So today on stream we're going to go and have a look at the Weird Miniatures website, and we're going to figure out a diorama that I can make out of some models. And I'm going to use your experience because you all know more than I do about Weird Miniatures probably, and I can ask you questions and you can help me. Indeed, yes, I thought it might be a bit of fun to do something like that. Yeah, Robin Hood's on the list. I got a little file that I have on my Google Drive that's called Painting File, and on there I have a list of models that I own, like that are sitting over there behind me. I have a list of models that I'm working on that are in progress, models that are available for sale, and then I have the last couple of pages is ideas. Anytime I have an idea for a diorama, it gets added to that file, or an idea for projects or whatever. So at the bottom of the file at the moment, Crimson Court this month. At the bottom of the file at the moment, I've got Orc Warband diorama, 54mm post-apocalyptic Junkers diorama, Robin Hood diorama, and then Ultima Thule, Zodiac, and Wasteland Terra Models diorama. They're all my ideas at the moment. Camelot was on there for a while too. So I don't have a time frame on when I do those things. It's just a section I put for my ideas. So yes, I will probably at some point do the Robin Hood diorama. No, not really. Robin Hood doesn't feel like it's going to be a very action-oriented diorama. It'll be a static posed one, so that'll be a model first diorama. Hey, Stanbeard Jim. The Hera Models one is the next one. It's only 5 models, so in terms of crushing the spirit, I'm less concerned about that. 5 models is a piece of cake. But yeah, I'm not going to be doing a big one again till next year, Ultima Thule or Zodiac. So I feel okay about that. No, probably the post-apocalyptic Junkers idea is one that was based on a post-apocalyptic junker thing. Yeah, man, I was talking to some friends. I was like, "Are you fucking serious? Like, can you just not fucking do another Kickstarter of models that I want?" Like, I somehow have managed to avoid Carl Rudick's Bug Dudes one. I don't know how, because I fucking think they're cool models, but I'm just like, I'm not even looking at it. Not going to do it. Beyond Miniatures post something, I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake, because I love their aesthetic. Fucking dickheads. Anyway. So yeah, the next big project I do will definitely be the Hera Models one, and that's just going to be Chaos Warrior Warband from old school G-Dub times. I didn't get the latest Spira, no. I was saying the last stream, I was saying to someone, I'm just not vibing on what he's doing at the moment. Like, objectively, they're incredible sculpts, but I don't know. That I don't want to go to school one. You remember that one with the little gnome and the kid on the back? That's one of the only ones that I was like, I don't want that, and I haven't ever once wavered from that. I don't want to paint that. And I sort of feel like his latest stuff is very similar to that. It's just a lot of... thanks, Alison Elson. Hyson. Yeah, it just feels like a similar vibe to those. His recent stuff. Objectively great sculpts. Objectively. But not sculpts I want to paint. You know? You know what I mean? Do I need to set up a hype thing? Yeah. So I'm not, yeah, no disparagement, nothing like that. It's just not a model I want to paint. That is correct, yes. All right. Feeling much better about that skin tone now, so let's add some dirt. It was all just a bit naff, but it's much better now. So anyway, Weird Miniatures diorama. How many of you great people know a lot about Weird Miniatures? Because I know 5/5 of fuck all. Yeah, I've definitely seen how small they are. I can paint small stuff, mate. I know my name's Big Deno, but I can paint small shit. Look how small these guys are. I know they're smaller than these guys. But anyway, it'll be good challenge. I like doing stuff I don't do, and maybe I can make scenery that's not overwhelming. Overwhelmingly large. What we need to do is figure out a diorama from Cool Malifaux models, and I just need you guys to steer me in the direction of A, Cool Malifaux models, B, make sure that the diorama, thematically speaking, works in terms of who's in it. Go, Tempers. Nice. Yeah, well, I'm open to ideas. G'day, Gore. No magic here, mate. Just tricks. All tricks. This is very, very close to the final piece of the Camelot puzzle, mate. I'm gonna do a model by model sweep shortly, where we just look over all the models and make sure we haven't missed anything. But yeah, it's very close. Very close indeed. She is indeed. It's a good quote, actually. Alright, I feel like I want to make the birds a little bit more distinct, so and maybe add some more. Let's start doing a model by model sweep. Let's have a look at the Camelot models one by one. The Camelot models go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. Alright, so Morgana and Merlin. So here's Merlin. I'm not really stoked with the magic effects, but fuck, I don't feel like doing any more. He's mostly pretty cool. You don't see any of his back from the diorama. He's tucked away, but you do sort of see a little bit of this angle. So maybe I should just tweak that little section a bit. Good call, mate. Good call. Not I. I did, yes, mate. I did indeed. We had some scary moments where we had some leaks, but it ended up okay. So here is here is where it leaked from. So this is the back of the waterfall of the lake scene. It butts up against this. I gotta fucking fix Nightbot shit. I'll fix it next month. So I had the resin leaking through there, and it was getting very close to bleeding over onto this whole base, which would have fucked this base. But I caught it, and I fixed it by sealing that with some quick drying epoxy resin, 2-part epoxy stuff, which is the best. It's called Need It. Dries in about 5 minutes. After that, it's now looking much better. So this is where it's at this morning. So it doesn't look like it's leaked anymore at all. Oh, turn that on. Nice. So that was where it's at this morning. Still hasn't cured yet, but yeah, it's looking nice. So as I was talking about before, I've just got to build some waterfalls. I've got to gloss up that little water spray, and then yeah, fix the rest of that. And about that much left of water, left of resin to pour in there, which I'll do it tomorrow once it's all cured, or maybe even tonight. Go Draxy. So yeah, that's the water effects looking very sharp. Yeah, just in case you haven't seen it, I'll just play this again for you. This is pretty close to finished. No, she's not going to be. She's actually got a seat inside that resin bit of water, the clear resin water, so she doesn't need to go in until the end after everything's done. I wonder if I can zoom in. I can't interact. Okay. No, tree is a 3D print from some company that I did. Yeah, Roglin's Thanatos looks fucking so legit. Yes, so very close to finished, very close indeed. Anyway, let's continue our model by model review. Make sure we've got every bad boy and girl completed. Yes, I'm happy with all that. He's a model I wasn't a big fan of, so just got to do his eyes actually. It's been a wild ride. Derp. I don't think everything's worked as much as I would have liked, as well as I would have liked, but I think I spent about the same on my project for Monty last year. Maybe not quite as long, but yeah, it's easily the biggest physically. It's a broad question actually. There's a lot of things I would probably have done differently. Like the way that I constructed the base, I would have used an MDF base, and I would have got someone to cut it professionally so it joined evenly and was a perfect circle. I would have made it slightly smaller in terms of the diameter. I feel like there's too much empty space. I would have probably tried to incorporate more 3D printed details because I think they were the best elements. I'm happy with this dude. he's got nothing left to do. I'm going to cover. It's going to have a thing. Oh, I did this to the Green Knight. Don't think I've shown this before. I added actual foliage. Thought it would look cool. It does. I glued proper leaves and stuff to him. I'll paint that actually. I'll paint bits of that. What else would I do? Yeah, I think most of it. G'day, Magan Hain. Yeah, the terrain takes up too much space in the models, in the diorama. Like I'll show my video again. So, like on this, you look at the models themselves. They're like, I don't know, 15 centimeters apart. If those two were much closer together, much tighter, and you almost had Sir Kay in that pocket above the horse's head, beside the banner, right? That's much more compressed, much more interesting, and then there wouldn't be as much space behind them. So it's just because of the size of the piece. I would do that bit at the top there with the crenellations better, differently. I would have more detail inside that cave. That one, I think I've talked about this before. The composition of that one is probably the best one because it's so tight. This one down the bottom, I don't know. There's a lot of detail on there. That one's probably the most considered compositionally, like the most where the detail feels like there's enough detail. When you say lighting, do you mean physical, like LED lighting, or do you just mean the lighting of the paint jobs? Because I considered that when I was painting them. Yeah. There's the light angles we considered as I painted. So, the light on them is both coming from the same direction, top right. The light on them is both coming from the same direction, which is zenithal. They've got two light sources, three light sources on this piece. The global silver light coming from front on, and then the orange light coming from the two torches, and then the green light coming from Mordred's sword, and all of the lighting on those is consistent. Moonlight from the top, and then daylight from above, magical effects from nearby. So Topless, I don't know if I actually mentioned this on the stream or not. I don't know if you're still around, but if you are, cool. If you're not, cool. Tell everyone anyway. I ordered a big pile of terrain stuff from Diorama Prezi. Diorama Espressi, or however it is. And really, really great products. A lot of the scenery elements that are plants on the diorama came from them, and I feel like it's a noticeable improvement of quality over the stuff I normally use. Sleepy saying, look, what I felt like I was trying to do was tell stories that resonated with Arthurian mythology, and so the majority of the stories have a historical bent, well, not historical I guess, but bent of the story. Mordred facing off against Arthur and Percival. Except for Percival, that's an accurate moment. Lancelot and Guinevere hiding away. Merlin and Morgana and the Green Knight facing off. All of them have like relevance in terms of story. So much as I would like to have done just like scenes of two, it felt better to have the tell the stories I was trying to tell, I guess. But compositionally, you're right. It would have worked better. But yeah, I do feel like we have a diorama that's more about the diorama than the models. When I reflect on it, I wanted it to be more compact. But I think, g'day Shay Razor, I think a lot of that comes from the fact that I was planning out the diorama before I had the models. I started the planning of the diorama a year before I got the models, and so I bought stuff and everything based on, hey, this is how big I think it all is. So had I constructed it after I had the models, it probably wouldn't be as big as it is. So that's an interesting reflection. All right, let's go and have a look at this. Let's go and have a look at this weird miniatures fucking thing. Can you all see what's going on? Nice. Alright. Sweet. So what we're going to try and do now is have a look at some of these models and think about an interesting diorama we can do. Whoa, that's fucking sick. Maybe we'll try using some of this for the diorama. Look at that. That's fucking epic. I've seen their bases before. I didn't know they did. Yeah, I've seen those before. I didn't know they did this shit. That's fucking mad. Alright. Dunno, mate. Let's find out. Thank you. I don't want that. Go away. Oh, that's right. Angel Giraldes painted these. Angel Giraldes. I remember seeing him paint them. It's mad. Yeah, see, this could be the start of something cool, actually. Using these as the basis of stuff. Okay, cool. Well, let's find some models first. Anabolic. The great thing about being a celebrity like me is I can just be like, hey bro, can I have some of that? And they give it to me. Isn't it the best? I don't want to join the weird newsletter. Probably they won't actually. I'll have to pay for it, I don't care. Alright. Okay, so I don't know anything about this stuff, so I assume, is this Malifaux 3rd edition? Is that what that stands for? What are all of these things? What are each of these people? Okay, so there's obviously multiple factions, guilds. Guild. Oh, robots! Love a robot. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. Someone's hosting me. Hello, someone. Thank you. I'll just fucking do that so I can see what's going on. Thank you, whoever you are. Alright, robots. Cool. What are these? So, does anyone in the chat know about this shit? Can anyone tell me what the fuck these dudes are? What are guild? What are guild dudes? That's cool. Look at that. Alright, that's guild. I don't know, they're like generic humans, probably. This one is resurrectionists, yes. Generic zombie undead friends. They've got a unique aesthetic, haven't they? This dude. Yeah. Oh, we've seen that one. Seen robots. It's like little dragon people. That's cool. Bear, bear, bear. Bear. Look at these guys. Little gases. That's mad. Centaurs. Undead centaurs. It's pretty cool. That reminds me of Soul Hunters from thing. Yeah, I'm quite partial to undead. I was a Vampire Counts player in Warhammer fucking 6th edition, whatever it was. What are these guys called? Arcanists. Alright, so these are the Signar of the world. Primal Fury, there's some baboons, cool. You're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice our love. Look at this dude. Fucking mad guy. Hello, reading from the box. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Cool. Alright, they're pretty boring. I don't like them. These guys are called the Neverborn. Little imps. Oh, what's that dude? Dunno. I fucking know nothing about this game, man. Absolutely nothing. Bad juju. Oh, that's a good model. Look at that. I like that. Yeah, they're cool. Look at the right in the description. It lists 2 factions. Cool. This one as well. So maybe some models have crossover and some don't. These are great. Look at these. So I am keen to paint a Titania core box purely because of the Dresden files. So sign me the fuck up for these guys. Autumn Nights. Yes, I'm in. Thought Titania was the queen of summer though. Great. Little snake friend. Nice. Cool. Alright, well they're pretty neat. The Neverborn. Who else have we got? Outcasts. These look a little more boring. Oh, here we go. This kind of reminds me of that movie with Will Smith and Kevin Kline, Wild Wild West. These are cool. they're playing drums. These ones are used all over. Seven Sins. Crazy. Look at these guys. Blah, 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 blah. All right, Outcasts. I think I know these ones. These are the ones that are like the pigs out on the. Yeah, these are pretty cool. Little goblin dudes. Oh, Amphibious Assault. Oh yes, cool. All right. Oh, go that way. This is the 10 Thunders. Oh, I'm gonna have another look through. Ooh, that's fucking bad. I don't know anything about this game, eh? I know absolutely nothing. I do like the artwork a lot. Yes, so these little dickheads. They look cool. Alright. I found a few that I like. So we got to figure out some sort of Explorers Society. Well, that's exactly right, mate. That's exactly right. Say what? Brr. Cool. All right. Well, let's see if we can come up with some ideas for a diorama from those friends, eh? Sounds like a bit of fun. Sounds like a bit of fun. You know what I'm staring down the barrel of now with Camelot? I'm staring down two barrels. One, how do I photograph it? Two, how do I send it? I very kindly left those problems to Future Trend to solve. But now Future Trend is here and he needs to figure out what to do. Looks like we may have a potential interested buyer. So we may need to pack it up and send it to its new home. It will. Yeah, I feel like just adding these little bits of foliage just makes this model a little bit, like it's so busy anyway. So, alright, model by model. I'm pretty happy with those being done, except for her. This guy's done. Do I need to tweak his face a bit? Maybe I should tweak his face a smidge. Looks okay. Don't love this model. Don't love it. Yeah, don't know that that's an option, unfortunately. The old travelling internationally. Don't even think I'm allowed to leave Australia at the moment, so we've got to trust in the kind people of whichever postal mob we decide to go with. Not yet, but it's looking promising. So we're thinking about transportation and how we're going to do that. Yeah, it's pretty cool if it ends up selling. If it doesn't, it's fine as well. I'm in the very fortunate position that this is not my job. I do this purely for fun, and I do not require selling stuff to continue to eat. King Arthur! No. Don't want to, mate. Don't want to become a pro painter. Pro painters hate their job. Well, that's an oversimplification. As soon as it becomes work, I think you lose the magic. Ah, that's right. I need to do some transfers on him too. I think there's a big push in the world to like be really good at things. G'day Basil Q. And it's sort of I'm probably not qualified to talk about this, right, because I'm quite privileged in that my hobby stuff is pretty successful. I have a lot of followers on Instagram and all that sort of stuff, but it feels like everyone's out there trying to promote their brand and trying to turn it into a business, like a side hustle or something. I'm probably not explaining myself well, but it's like I just want to have this for fun. I owe no one anything when I paint toy soldiers. Even when I take on commissions, I find it super draining and depressing. Like you don't need to make a career out of everything. You don't need to be the world's best at everything. I think, particularly with miniature painting, it's enough to want to get better and try and improve. Now, I don't think I'm explaining myself well. I think it's about don't lose sight of why you do things, and I think the people who are most successful are those who remember why they do things. Like you look at Sergio as a good example. You know, he paints a lot of stuff and he's incredible, but at the same time he also, like, he never stops talking about how much you have to enjoy what you're doing. You know, you have to love it. I think one of the reasons he's as successful as he is, Roman Lepart, Alfonso Giraldez, some of the biggest people in the industry there, they promote it and their work because it's their career and their job. But I never feel like when I'm well, maybe a little bit with Alfonso, I never feel like I'm having someone jamming what they're doing down my throat. I feel like they give a shit about what they do and they're passionate about it. Yeah, I haven't done a great job explaining myself. It's early Sunday morning. Cut a guy some slack. Yeah, it's a fine example. You don't need to do stuff as a business. You don't need to do it as and as I said, I think I'm probably biased a lot because my miniature page is very successful, but I don't recall ever really like telling people, hey, go check out. I don't know. Again, I'm not really sure what I'm trying to say here. I just want people to enjoy what they do and not try and monetize it and make it a business. But then at the same time, the world's certainly a lot different to what it was 18 months ago, and maybe those people are just trying to get themselves and their families fed. So maybe I'm just being a dickhead. Do whatever you want, people. Do whatever you want. I'm really hungry today. It's unusual. Well, it's not unusual. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm probably feeling biased here because it's like I go follow ninja painters on Instagram and it feels like every one of them's like, here's my Patreon, go fucking subscribe to my Patreon. And I suppose I'm the same with Twitch, I guess. So I don't want to pay for your Patreon, man. I just want to see your cool models. Can't you just paint cool models? But yeah, I'm being an elitist snob end here, so I'm just gonna stop. He actually came out really well, you know. Of all of the models that I painted, this guy's probably the most consistently good across the whole piece. Surprising, really. They're all done. Diorama. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. There's just like a part of me that wants to enjoy art without feeling like I'm being constantly pressured to pay money for it, which is a very greedy mindset, I guess. I'm reflecting quite a lot right now. Like, here's an example of me doing exactly the same thing, really, isn't it? Oh, thanks, Chase, that feeling. For giving me more money. What a champion. yeah, I guess what I'm trying to express is that my joy from the hobby comes out of painting and having a great time, and I guess I want other people to feel the same way. But part of the reason why I've got this perspective is because of what's happened in my life, and I'm sure that other people have had different experiences and so have different priorities. So sometimes I have to slap myself around a bit and say, stop being a fucking arrogant dickhead. This feels like one of those times. Do whatever you want, friends. I'll support you. Maybe not financially, but I'll support you. Cool, I'll just show you this guy again. He looks fun. It's going to be good to paint him. I left this little helmet off. How creepy does that guy look? But I'm gonna undercoat him like this so that this has a firm bond, so I can paint that first, and then I'll do this. Thank you. That is a much better explanation of what I'm trying to say than what. Yes, that is exactly what it is. People are chasing too hard for the wrong things. There you go. Thank you for expressing what I'm trying to say. Very good. Alright, let's show off the last of the models. This is the last Camelot stream. I said that last time, but this is definitely the last Camelot stream. Exactly. Otherwise, what's the fucking point? I get the point is to make money, or the point is to do blah 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 blah, but yeah. You can always tell when someone enjoys a project, I feel like. Comes through in the painting. Great model this is. I'm looking forward to adding all of the things. Alright, let's actually, you know what we're going to do? I'll just show you the last two models. First, I fucking got a sore back today. Fuck. This guy. Whee. Yeah. And Guinevere. Okay. We're going to do some spattering with an airbrush. Some dirty spattering goodness. Some effects, some magical effects. I am happy to explain everything. I just have to remind myself, or be reminded to do it. So next time I paint a model and you want to know what the fuck I'm doing, ask the question, because I get wrapped up in just having a good time and I don't think about that. I've got to explain X, Y, Z, so I'm happy to do so. That's true. I rarely know what the fuck's going on until the end. Alright, and you last. Sit up there. Okay. So, my friend said there's not enough fucking dirt and mud on her, so let's do some dirt and mud on her. So we're going to do a little airbrush trick here. So I'm going to show you how we do it. So first of all, we're using this Iwata Eclipse. What we're going to do is we're going to take an airbrush colour. Now normally when I use airbrush, I put in some thinner. We're not going to do that. We're going to use this whole red. And we're just going to blub some in there. Bloop. Bloop. Okay, so normally when you have a thick paint, it won't come out properly. So what we're going to do, I'm going to try and show you this. So we're not going to push down. So this is air on, right? We're not going to do that. We're actually just going to pull back the needle. So what that does is that puts paint in the tip. We're then going to push the needle back into position and then put air on. See how we've got spattering there? So I might need to thin it down just fractionally more, evidently. Works differently on different paints. Alright, you all owe me fucking 10 subscriptions on Patreon. Just for that free facts. Alright. There we go. So what you're doing is you're forcing paint into the little cone, into the tip there, by pulling it back. And then when you push air, the air is spattering that paint out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do that on her. So it's an easy way to do spattering. Thank you, Quiff. I'm going to assume that was because of my great tips just then. Excellent. So that's one way you can do spattering. The next is we're going to use pigments. The way you do that without an airbrush is as follows. You get yourself a toothbrush. Hey, Zachary Woodward. How are you, mate? You get yourself a toothbrush with stiff bristles. Stiff bristles, like this is just an acrylic brush. The bristles are not stiff enough on this, right? So it needs to be a stiff, bristled brush. You load paint up on the brush, and then you flick it like this. And that will create a spattering effect in the same way. It's less controllable. So you really need to practice it, and you may want to even like try and diffuse it slightly with a bit of paper or something. But yeah, you can create the same effect with stiff bristles. Pigments. I ain't coming back. Alright, we're going to use 2 pigments. Yeah, toothbrushes to go. So, pigments are super cool because you can move them around even after you've put them on. So I'm using an old brush for this, and I'm using a shit brush. Woot, woot, woot. So you can do it in a couple of ways. You can put dry pigment on there, right? But I find that it doesn't work all that well unless you've got some moisture on the model. Right? You can't really get them to stick. So what I like to do is moisten the model a bit. And then work with pigments. And the cool thing is, with the pigments, as I said, if you don't like it, you can just be like, you know what, fuck that. I'm going to remove that. That's just water. Pigment Fixer puts it in place too quickly. I don't want that. Hello, Alex. How are you? I'd like to experiment more with pigments. I don't think I use pigments enough. I think there's some... Oh, anabolic. What can I sing for you, mate? I think I use pigments enough. Alright. I'm just looking up the lyrics because I know the chorus, but I just want to do a little bit of the... Yeah, cool. Her name is Noelle. I have a dream about her. She rings my bell. Got gym class in half an hour. How she rocks in kids and tube socks. But she doesn't know who I am. And she doesn't give a damn about me. 'Cause I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. Yeah, I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. Listen to Iron Maiden, baby, with me. Ooh, ooh yeah, dirtbag. No, she doesn't know what she's missing. Ooh yeah, dirtbag. She doesn't know what she's missing. And I was talking about a fucking misunderstanding of lyrics the other night on a the drive-in song, which was great. I love songs where you get them mixed up. I'm trying to just skew this a tiny bit more towards green than brown because the base is actually green and not brown, but it doesn't look quite right when you just have green. So, cool. Cause I'm just a teenage ninja turtle. They always look different when you dry them. And so the cool thing about pigments, as I said, is you can just be like, alright, well, let's just fucking keep mucking about with this. And if you don't like them, you can take them off. And one thing I do like doing is mixing a little bit of this contrast paint gear on there as well. Thanks, mate. I'm also happy that you found me. The singing is no doubt the worst bit, but we struggle through. I haven't tried the liquid pigment, no. I wouldn't mind trying it. I'll try anything, like I'm not a snob. I'll use absolutely any product I can that will give me a result that I enjoy. Contrast paints, liquid green stuff, anything. Anything at all. Should probably do... Alright, there we go. Snakebite leather. I'm just going to zoom in on this because I feel like it looks really cool, and I don't know if you can see in enough detail there. I use snakebite leather more than I use Volubus pink. That looks cool, eh? Fucking sick. Alright, let's do a varnish, I think. Hey Rowie. So I'm excited to try out my... I would like to see. I'm excited to try out my decals and my decal fixer, Microsol, Microset. Haven't done that, haven't ever done that product before or used that before, or used transfers in about fucking 20 years, I reckon, would have been the last time I used a transfer. So I'm pumped to try it out. And my spider serum, I'm excited to try out my spider serum too. Hey, when you're at Bunnings, can you get me some Mod Podge gloss? Because I really need some gloss so I can do the top of my lake for Lady of the Lake. Cheers, bro. You know what, let's just turn this on. This is fucking easier than copy pasting all the time, isn't it? Yeah, fuck yeah, I could go snag. Hey mate, the sword looks really good actually. It's tricky to do non-metallic metal on a sword like that, but that's a neat looking sword. Well done. Yeah, depends. The pigment color is really hard when you're doing pigments for the first time. If you haven't used them before, getting the balance right is tricky. That's why I use water, because you can keep flicking around. If you use pigment fixer or something like that, it's a lot harder. And we're spent. How good. How good. I love doing weathering. I sometimes go a little bit crazy on weathering. Alright, this is fun actually having this fucking thing. This is fun having this. I like this. Having this option here. Should just be able to do this. Here's my Instagram. Let's just have a look here, right? Because it's still a retrospective of this fucking project. We started here on, well, apparently that says 5 weeks, but I posted this a little bit later. Crazy, look at that. I love looking back at the work you've done. Just that glow. Appreciate the hard work you've put in. Look at all of this. Look at all these crazy models I painted. How good is that? Let's scroll back through some other works. I did her on stream, I did her on stream, I did her on stream, I did both of those on stream. Did that on stream, did Lady Lake. She was fucking mad, eh? Remember that? That was a good model. I like that. See-through dress, great. Did Wood Elves. Oh, I haven't finished the Walrus guy, he's still got work to do. Remember, oh fuck yeah, remember the Sheep Rider, how good. He was mad. Did him on stream. Oh yeah, did those High Elves on stream, forgot about them, they're sick. Remember this diorama? I fucking did this diorama too. I'm a fucking nutcase when you think about it. Fuck. That's fucking nuts, eh? Dino, what are you doing, you lunatic? Spend some time with your girlfriend, dickhead. Hey, this is a fun story. So see that little picture in the back? My niece painted that for me when she was about 5. So it's in the cabinet of all of my best artworks. And that's her writing her name for the first time, or not for the first time, but trying to write her name, Heidi. She's a great kid. Oh yes, I did this. Look at this guy. Forgot about this guy. He's mad dog. That was a good stream actually. I think that was probably one of the better streams I did, was painting that guy, showcasing the step-by-step on him. It's on my YouTube if you haven't seen it. It's very good. And Baba Yaga. Windrider, I did him on stream too. He was good. I did this guy on stream, but I didn't love the finished result. There's elements of it I liked, but overall I think it was probably not my favourite piece I've done. Did this granny on stream, she was neat. I liked her. Traded her to get Sheep Rider actually. Remember I chopped the frog off that? Great stuff. Oh yes, this chick, she was good too. Did her on stream. This is the first model that I didn't paint on stream. And I actually did do a tiny little bit at the end of him on stream. But most of that was done off stream. Never forgetty, Froggy. And now we're getting into unstreamable. Look at this. Fuck yeah, how good's that? There's some dirt and grime on bits. That was a fun paint job. Anyway, if you're not following me on Instagram, I did this model for the Kickstarter for Greenskull Castle. It's cool, eh? A little froggy on there. I liked painting him. Yeah, mate, I don't do anything inappropriate on my computer, generally. It's mostly just talking to my girlfriend. You're worried about having Pornhub on the background, just so I don't fucking get Pornhub on my Twitch stream. Not a problem, mate. It's a good conversion of Spidicules, actually. This is my Kingdom Death collection that I did. I don't think I've shown this much on stream. Yeah. It's pretty cool, actually. Topless was around in the in the Kingdom Death forums. So this was all painted live. I did these survivors from Kingdom Death, and then I just was like, boo, boo, I paint everything from Kingdom Death, boo. I was on a tear. Gorm. Blip, 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 blip. Jiggerlion. That was cool. This guy's crazy. I won't show him for too long because he's got bits that are inappropriate. But crazy guy. Phoenix. I like that Phoenix. Fun to paint. Smoke Knight. Did a video on him. If you want to see how I painted him, I painted him on my YouTube channel. There it is. It's pretty good. I got nothing to paint, friends, so I'm just like chatting away about my Mad Dog and Instagram. This guy's a neat model, but I really didn't enjoy the fight against him in Kingdom Death. Dragon King, he was fun. He's very big. He's a lot of fluorescence on him. So he's got nuclear bits. So I've got a lot of... See you, Loopy. I've got a lot of Kingdom Death models here. This is all of the monsters from the core game, and all of the expansions, and a lot of survivors, but it's not all of them. I still haven't painted all of the survivors and stuff I've got. I've got about 50 survivor models that are all really neat as well, so I would like to get around to painting them. And I've also got to paint the tree. Like these guys, look at this guy, that's fucking mad. The model, my paint job's average. The model's mad. This guy blowing his horn. She got whip. I whip my hair back and forth, I whip my hair back and forth. Anyway, before Kingdom Death, this is some other examples of models I painted in the last 12 months. Great stuff. So last year, there you go, August last year. Queensland Model Hobby Expo in August last year would have been going, no, I don't have an art background, would have been absolutely ballistic. Those would have been some of the models I would have taken to Queensland Model Hobby Expo, and they wouldn't have been all of them either. Fairy Garden, Temple of the Elements, Apocalypse. That dude on the horse is fucking mad, by the way. The Dwarf. And because it got cancelled, they all disappeared. Have a look at this. This is fucking such a cool model. It's from Broken Toad Miniatures, that one. And I was absolutely chuffed with the horse. I always intended on doing this horse like this, but if you have a look here, it doesn't look like it's just a brown horse. And then yeah, I did this Pinto style effect. That was always my plan, but I just didn't tell anyone I was going to do that. It was mad. That's a great model. I wish I had kept that so I could enter that in the historical category. Yeah. This guy's mad, a little bust, Seth. He's from Cult of Paint. Pretty cool model. A lot of people have done versions of that. Cole's version of that's really good. Here you go, look at this. 50 weeks ago. A year ago. There you go, that's when I started planning it. This is another one I loved. This is Spira, back when I loved their models. I still love their models, but that's cool. Cool little thing. I did this on video. If you want to learn how to paint this, Danzeron did it on video. Danzeron followed along. He did a version that's probably better than mine actually. Which is good. See you, Sleepy Slang. Well, this was fun. I did this in a 4-hour paint job. A lot of airbrushing, a lot of contrast paints. Could have done that in one stream. Yeah. I thought I would just try a little bit more like Craft World style and start with blue. See how it would look to use blue as the base. I probably didn't leave enough blue actually. When I look back at it, I probably should have left more blue showing. But it was all contrast paints, like everything was just contrasts, everything. Robosh, I've been painting since I was in school, but only doing this sort of stuff for about 5 years. This model got featured on the Kickstarter for Limbo. Vincent actually didn't tell me he was going to do that. He just was like, took these photos and put it on his thing. But it came out pretty neat. I was happy with that. The fur's pretty cool when you see the fur. It's easy to paint fur though when you've got a nice sculpt like that. It's when the fur sucks, it is no good. I did this dragon. He's pretty cool. It's a big model. Doesn't feel that big now that I've completed my diorama. Some dragon head models. Oh, here's some of my gaming models. Here's some of my Rising Sun models. Got to finish those off actually. Got 9 left. You are not prepared! I've got that model sitting over there. I'd like to paint her. Blood Temple. This is another one. This one I did on stream. Not stream, sorry. I did a video on this. And it was actually a disaster of a paint job, this model. Like, everything went wrong. I don't know how it turned out as well as it did. It actually ended up being one of my favourite things I've ever painted. But it was an absolute disaster. Absolutely terrible. Great model. Carl Rudick's vampires are the best. Yeah, it was all done on on a video, and it was terrible. And about 3/4 of the way through filming, I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's a bad video. And I just stopped because the model was coming out terrible. And then somehow I fixed it, and it became one of my favourites. It's Fairy Garden. Sketch, airbrush, details, cold highlights, airbrush, Bob's your uncle. Well, this is a good model. Nuts Planet. Good model. Fun to paint. Big Child Creatives, the dwarves from Cobberland. Which one? Ah, awesome, Alison. These are great to paint, actually, the little dwarves. I regretted not buying more of the dwarves. That's the only dwarf I bought in the Cobberland Kickstarter, and I regretted it. I didn't follow Sergio's walkthrough actually. Yeah, so this is the Cobberland Kickstarter, and I regret not getting more of them. That guy I remember I wasn't stoked with, plus David Aroba's paint job is all time. That guy I loved. I nearly bought him. I wished I bought her. That dude definitely wish I bought. Beautiful Fabrizio. That's the one. That's the one I regret most. That would have been so much fun to paint. Should have got that guy. Should have got that guy. Got that guy. This dude's mad. Let's have a look. Oh, sick. Always good to leave the back undone. No, that's awesome. That's a really good model. The non-metallic metal's like very, very good on that breastplate. It reads very, very well. There's probably two things you could change. That central chest plate bit, that should actually be a highlight on the metal as well, just in between the two. And you could maybe just do a couple of tiny little edge highlights and make that pop. But the skin tone's great. It's awesome, mate. Anyway, I regret not getting that guy. How good's he? I didn't want that one. Yep, so regretful I didn't get more of the dwarves. Seatopoulos, old mate from what's his name's painting this at the moment. Luca, almost finished his version, and his version is sensational. And I wish I had have done more on mine, because his is so good. Did I do a video of this? No, I wish I did a video. Yeah, I wish I had done more on my version of that, but it's a great figure, fantastic figure. I feel like the videos showcase my work better than the pictures do. She went through a really interesting progression. It was pink. I changed it to blue, and then I changed it to cold, which was great. Oh yeah, Jolton from Aradia Miniatures. Quite an interesting palette for me, actually. A bit different to how I normally do things. Apocalypse, Michael Contreras. That was a good paint job. Spent a lot of time on the various elements on it. But it was a very good paint job. I'm very proud of that one. Definitely looks better in the flesh than it does in the photos. That's another one. Cult of Paint. I did a step-by-step on my non-metallic metal, I think. Here you go. Put some red on. Put some black. Put some green. Green and yellow. Yellow. White. White. Airbrush. Shadows. Reds. Boom. Samo from Lucas Jaba. He looks like a Jedi. Here's my version of Cursed. Natalia's version's 1,000 times better. I did this model in Craftworld Studios class, in the 2-day class. It's very fun. It ended up being a really cool paint job, actually. Skin tone's got a lot of colour in it. When I think back on it, I feel like it was very pale, but it actually has got a lot of colour in it. I did this chick, Big Child, Sword of Dawn. Did her in about 6 hours, I think. Good practice. This guy, Limbo. He came out really well. Temple of the Elements, crazy fun project. That was the last project that took a very long time, I think. Oh, here's my Tainted Grail models. This guy. Heroes from Tainted Grail. Cool. This was another limbo for the Kickstarter. Came out reasonably well, but I do think that when you put up my model next to fucking Land Studios, it looks absolutely terrible. That's from Dmitry Faseshko. It's in my cabinet. Showed that off. This is when I went to Monty on my trip with my girlfriend, when I won some awards at Scale Model Challenge. Here's me at Harry Potter Gringotts Studio, holding on the sword of Godric Gryffindor. The best. You know, I completely forgot I painted her. She came out great, really. Probably that blend on the blue just around the leg there is not quite smooth enough. Metal's cool though. So this was my project that won a silver at SMC and bronze at Monty. It's a good model. Oh, QMHE last year, or 2019 I guess. Those are all my models that won trophies. Oh yes, I did this diorama. You know, this is a fun story. I decided I was going to build a diorama for QMHE, and I didn't really have a design in mind or anything in mind. And I started building it here. So this is August 7th. QMHE was on August 25th, I think. So I had like, I don't know, and I was like, this is gonna take me a while. This is gonna take me all the way up to the date of the tournament, of the event. So I sculpted it. This was all pretty much real time. Sculpted all this, added all this stuff, started painting the angel, got to this point and realised I don't like the other bad guy, so I'm going to change it to these two dudes from thingy. Paint. Finished it 10 days later. I painted that in 10 days for the thing, and it won a gold medal at that thing. It's actually really awesome. I was stoked with that. Couldn't believe it. It's one of my favourites. But here's a fun fact. Look at that column. I use the same column in Camelot. The little plants on the base, I use the same plants on Camelot. I use the same shit all the time. That face on the bottom's from a Games Workshop kit. I don't have any of the models from my early days, no. This guy's still sitting on my bench unpainted. I haven't finished him off. Here's another Kingdom Death model I painted for a collector. Great models. This was a practice piece for see-through for my piece for Monty. I practiced the see-through clothing on there. Never done it before. This was fun. About 4 hours worth of painting. 5 hours, I think. I did that when Roman Gruber was staying at my house. This was my model that I entered in. What was that? Games Workshop? Ever Chosen. There you go. That I entered in Ever Chosen. Oh yes, Salahuddin. I tell you what. I've painted some fucking models, eh? I've painted a lot of fucking models. That's Boudica from RP Models. It's a fantastic model. It's bigger than it looks though. Oh yes, Charlotte from Limbo. She was practiced for the red light from underneath. I did a lot of preparation painting for my project for Monty, where I tried different techniques to see if I could make it work. She was very cool. I don't have any of my paint jobs, buddy. I've sold pretty much everything. Oh yes, these were from another board game, Madara. Ended up selling that. Wasn't a game we enjoyed very much. Fuck, I forgot I did this chick. Nice. Pokemon! I feel like there's a noticeable change in my style over a period of time, and a noticeable improvement as well. I think this is pretty good actually though. She's good. Like when you look at, oh here's a little King of Death diorama I did. Fun. That was the first time I think I did non-metallic metal well. As the first few times I was reaching a point where I got a handle on it. Oh, I forgot about these. I did these models from Sergio and some other people. I don't remember the other ones who did it. I don't remember the name of them, but they were the Japanese style orcs. I painted all 4 of them, and I was really stoked with them. Actually, at the time, I felt like they were a really nice example of where I was at. Look at that guy. How cool is that? This one was probably the best. So just so you know, this was April 21st, 2019. So we have basically gone through 2 years of models. As you can tell, I've painted a lot of models. I did some Games Workshop models there. I painted an Urgle army. Did some cool scenic bases and stuff. It's good. Rocks, mate. Rocks are invariably the go. G'day, Pun Expected. How are you, champion? Yeah, I just sculpted into little rocks, little smooth balls, and when you're doing a base, you can just like glue a heap of them together and then add some sand around them, and it generally looks pretty good. So I do it all the time. How are you, champion? I'm actually just doing a little walk down memory lane at the moment. I'm going to start this model tomorrow night. This is a model that is next on the list. It's a little historical piece, so that'll be fun. But yeah, I just finished off my paint job a little while back. So I'm just walking down through my Instagram and looking at some cool models I painted that I'd forgotten about. There's a lot of them that I forgot about. Like this one. I forgot I painted her. And that. And that. And that. And that. Well, good for you for picking up a brush, mate. Here's me and my girlfriend on our last trip overseas. We stayed at some awesome places. This is in Scotland, in St Andrews. Beautiful place. This is a magnificent castle in Loch Ness. Very green. Everything feels more green. Overseas in Australia, everything feels brown. There's me. Great building here in York. York is so good. I take a lot of photos of like landscapes for reference. How's this photo? Denmark. That's Frederiksborg in Hillerød. And this is in Malmo in Sweden. And this is in Stirling Castle. Actually super cool. Super cool place. And this is when I went to Monty in 2018. And I took I got a mascot, his name's Wally. He follows me everywhere when I travel. Here's my display in 2019. I got nothing. I did not receive a medal for my display. That was another little diorama I made. I actually really liked that diorama, by the way. Felt like it was quite cool. Might see if I can show you that. Oh yeah, here's a great Ponte Florence, the best. I don't know if you've ever been here, but this is Hampton Court in the UK. It is fucking legit. I'm gonna find my diorama here. Check this out. This is a really cool diorama, I think. I like the story it tells. So that model there's Kvato from Judgment, who's like a big zombified dude. He's based off Quato from Total Recall. Quaid, start the reactor, Quaid. That guy. And it's like he's being controlled by this necromancer up the back, which is a Games Workshop necromancer. And then that little assassin chick's trying to stop him. Quaid, start the reactor. Well, rising sun. Ooh, fucking hell, I forget some of these models. Valkyrie from Nocturna. I painted a little Punisher on her shirt. That was back when I was bad at non-metallic metal. Well, I'm still pretty bad at it actually, but I had no idea how to do that. Ah, some Stormcast. These are great. Oh yeah, another Rising Sun paint job, great model. Here's one of the box arts for the original Judgment. Here's Neo from the Matrix. So that's cool. Forgot about her. Fucking hell. Oh, I forgot about this chick too. That's Isabilia from Pedro Fernandez. This is a really awesome model. Really awesome model. This is the last historical, like I remember I painted a specific historical piece each year for Queensland Model Hobby Expo. This was the one I did in 2018. Viking. Great sculpt. Great sculpt indeed. Here's me rolling down a hill. I feel like every time you got a hill that's grassy, you've got to roll down that bad boy. Like you're letting yourself down if you don't roll down a grass hill. And then try and walk. Yes. I was very dizzy. That was quite fun. My mum thinks I'm an idiot. Here's me teaching class in Melbourne. Back when we were allowed to teach classes. How fun's that? This is the historical bust I painted in 2018. It's from Scar 75. I received nothing for that. Very big model. She is the size, I think I've got a scale piece yet. There she is. That's how big she is. She was gigantic. So look, I think my takeaway from this little trundle down my Instagram is that I've painted a lot of models, and if you paint a lot of models, you too will improve. So have fun painting models. And that is all. How many hours did that take me? There you go. 152 weeks ago. I said in my approach is that I paint toy soldiers and have fun. Go me. Oh, that's a great model, Torgar from Terrible Kid Stuff. I tried to go for a very similar colour palette to like a Boris Vallejo piece of artwork where it was like greys with lots of different colours in the skin. Another diorama. Oof, the Nun from Kingdom Death, great model. You may look at that and say, wow, that piece of thing in the background, that's very subtextual, looks a little bit like you know what. And you would be correct, and that is exactly what I was going for. So another Kingdom Death, great model. Fuck, I love painting Kingdom Death models. I should really get some of those out and do some more. This is the last time I tried to paint an African American skin tone or an African skin tone. It's very tricky. Should try and do it some more. Probably my best bust up till that point. Oh, here's this guy. There's a complex model. Very complex. More Rising Sun. Oh, here's me teaching another class. Big Deno. Carving up. There's Gavin beside me. Gavin was up there. Gavin's like, hey, let's teach a class, Deno. And then what does he do? He fucking sits there the whole day. Doesn't do shit. What a joker. What a joker he is. More Kingdom Death. I had a collector who was into Kingdom Death models, and he just asked me to paint some, so I did heaps of different like Kingdom Death styles and different stuff. That one's my favourite, I think. More Rising Sun. Wow, I can't believe that was 3 years ago. Long time ago. Long time ago. Scale 75 from one of their Kickstarters. Now I feel like we're starting to get into some of my work that isn't as good. That's a pretty cool tattoo, I guess. I feel like there's a noticeable improvement in my work, in the level of my work from here. Like if you look at these are my works that I felt were the best at the time, and I don't think any of those would make my top 10 now. It's from Aradia Miniatures, Car on the Ferryman. FER Miniatures. Raphael Pika sculpted that. That is a bad version of those two models. That's Roman Gruber's class that he taught that year. Here's my entries for Crystal Dragon that year. Yes, yes, yes. Mama Buho. I'd like to paint another version of her, I think. Alright, well we're getting into, some Farmers Guild. We're getting into a fairly long time ago. Farmers from Guild Ball, mad. Into a fairly long, that guy's a cool face. Oh, probably Sergio the most. So, this model is the first model I painted when I moved into my new house. So I moved into my new house after separating from my, at the time, wife. And this was the first model I painted, and I remember feeling really happy about it because I hadn't painted for a long time. And then I painted that. So I'm not going to scroll too much further back because I think there's some pictures from my honeymoon which I probably don't want to be looking at too much. So, anyway, there you go. That's the level of my work then. So I feel like I've progressed quite a lot since then. A bit more sophisticated. But I do think I had a tendency to spend more time on things back then. So there's a little bit more attention to detail on these. I used to spend a lot more time on clean blends and stuff. I don't do that as much now because I feel like the feeling of the model. Now this guy's cool. Pretty cool. All right, that's enough, friends. That's enough of the little divergence down memory lane. So I'll be back tomorrow night, starting off this Crusader. Should be an absolute blast. I'm very much looking forward to it. So let's find a great friend that we can raid today, friends. Who will it be? Who will it be? Kale is on, painting some models. I do like Kale, she's very nice. Let's see who else is in the world of miniature figures. Good old Wapelius is on. Knight Gore. Friendly Pyro is painting a fabulous marine. Oh, Monster Den Minis is painting something that looks quite cool. Let's have a look at Monster Den Minis. Don't think I've rated that guy. Let's have a look.
Not even going to Adepticon.
Oh my god, there's a dog in there. Oh my god, there's another person with a dog.
And now Grots aren't a very the Grots, they really screwed up Grots, so I don't think they're going to be very viable.
This guy's doing a pretty nice model actually, and he's painted Torgar in a 75mm, so I'm going to raid this guy, Monster Den Minis. Let us raid Monster Den Minis.
Yeah, just trying to get the full Empire of Dust army with the huge patches of killer. Oh, I feel ya.
Friends, it's been real. I look forward to just catching as many of you as join me tomorrow night on the old Party Monday stream when we start a new one. You're all the best. Raid!
A swarm army or just
Boom!
a patch army ever again. I just had way too many Grots. I painted like 150 of those little big Dino rating with a party of 47. Wow. Big Dino, how you doing? Wow, that's well thank you for coming in and raiding the Monster Den.